Let's make the Missouri star block. You will need one background fabric, I'm using white, and then 2 colored fabrics. I'll put the measurements in the description. Lay one of your background squares right sides together with one of your color or printed squares. Draw a diagonal line from corner to corner using a ruler, and then you're going to sew 1/4 of an inch away from that line on both sides of the line. Now cut straight on that line that you drew, and this is going to give you 2 half square triangles. Repeat these steps with your other colored fabric. Take 1 half square triangle from one color and 1 half square triangle from the other color that you made, and lay them right sides together with your background fabrics touching each other and your colored fabrics touching each other. Using your ruler, draw a diagonal line from corner to corner on the side with no seam. Sew a line from corner to corner 1/4 of an inch away from that drawn line on both sides of the line, and then cut on that line that you drew. You will now have 2 quarter square triangle units. Repeat these steps 3 more times. After you repeat those steps, you will have 8 of these quarter square triangle units. Go ahead and set those aside for now. Now take one of your printed or colored squares along with the opposite colored one and lay them right sides together. And then just as we've been doing, we're going to draw a line from corner to corner, sew 1/4 of an inch off that line on both sides, and then cut that printed line. And that's going to give us 2 half square triangles. You're going to repeat that one more time after this. So total, you're going to have 2 of color number 1 and 2 of color number 2. All right, now we're just going to give everything a really good press before we square these blocks up. In my case, I'm going to square everything to 3.5 inches. All right, now I've got my stack of quarter square triangles, my 3.5 inch background fabric that I cut at the beginning, and then my 4 half square triangles out of my 2 colored fabrics. So now we're just going to lay out our rows and get ready to stitch. You just want to choose one color, basically, one of your 2 colored patterns, to always be kind of touching the center point of your star. So see, I chose yellow for mine. And then I'm just going to work my way around on here. So I have my blueprint facing down here. I have my blueprint facing up here and facing inward here. So that's how I kind of kept it making sense in my mind where I was supposed to place things. And then your center should form basically a diamond out of one of your colors with these border triangles on the edge of it. So go ahead and grab a screenshot or whatever you need to do to lay out your block like this. And then, like I said, for each row, you're just going to sew 1/4 of an inch seam allowance to assemble one row, and so on. And then you'll assemble your rows together with another 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and make sure that you're nesting these vertical seams here to keep everything nice and lined up. Well, that's no good. Between rows 3 and 4, something shifted and that center seam doesn't line up. Now, if that doesn't bother you, don't fix it. I don't always fix all of mine, especially when they're just quilts that are for me. But in this case, it was really bothering me, so I went ahead and grabbed my seam ripper and redid it. I don't really know what's wrong with my machine, but for some reason the foot pedal keeps throwing an error and it won't work, even though I've replaced it. So I'm having to use the hand controls to sew right now, and I'm really struggling with doing that effectively. It's just not computing in my brain very well, so I had a really hard time lining these seams up. I just wanted to keep this part in the video to show you that even people that have been quilting for a really long time, in my case 15 years, we still have to use our seam ripper all the time. And anybody that says that they don't, I promise you they're lying. So fix what you want to fix, leave in what you want to leave in. It's your quilt. Once your block is assembled, give it a good press, square it up, and pat yourself on the back. You just made the Missouri Star. Be sure to give me a follow if you want to continue to learn how to make quilt blocks that look really difficult but truly are not. This one, as you could see, is honestly mostly just triangles that you keep flipping and turning until you make a pattern.